clear of Atletico Madrid. They've now played the same number of matches as Barcelona, and they find themselves 5 points ahead of Hansi Flick's side. Meanwhile, for Valencia, they were so close, weren't they, to going level on points with Espanyol on 18th, but in the end, they end the night with nothing, and their struggles continue, rock bottom of the table. We welcome in Luis Garcia. We'll be hearing from Luis in a moment, but goodness me, Greg, that last 10 minutes just had everything.
That's what champions are all about, isn't it? Where you've lost a man, you haven't played particularly well again. Valencia have got the tail between the legs. They can sniff a change in the guard with the new manager, and they don't give up. You know, he could have made the Modric change earlier. I thought he might have done. I think Maka said it in the commentary, but ultimately it's paid off for him. You know, Mbappe, obviously there was a missed penalty from Bellingham. He didn't let that affect him. He's still as confident as ever. You know, Mbappe, a couple of chances where he just goes too early. The Modric goal was terrific, and the Bellingham goal was a gift. It was a gift. I mean, when you're down there at the bottom of any league, when a team gets back into it like Real Madrid and they can send something, you cannot take chances in dangerous areas outside your own penalty box, particularly with a few minutes to go. You've got to play the percentages and play the averages, and that is stick it down on the channel. They did not, and they paid the ultimate penalty. I don't think Real Madrid can have any complaints about the red card, but this is good harrowing and you know, pressurising there. Valverde pressurised his first time round, and Bellingham's there to pick up the pieces. I mean, it's one of the reasons you will get relegated. You keep making mistakes like that. But in terms of the game, 3 points. I personally don't think Vinicius Junior has got any complaints regarding the red card, and we've seen this before. And then some people say this is what fuels him. This is what fuels the player. This energy, this attitude, you know, this anger, which it's pretty much is and has been for quite some time. And as embarrassing as it was from the goalkeeper, and I mean, it is totally embarrassing. Unfortunately, in this day and age, when you raise your hands against anybody's head stroke face, it doesn't matter how strong the contact is. If it's spotted, and it was by VAR, it's going to be a red card. Right? You don't have to punch him. You don't have to give somebody a left hook. You just cannot raise your hands within this game anymore. And once he does that, and he never complained about the challenge. He was angry at the goalkeeper. I don't even know what the goalkeeper did to him. And once you push against any player in the facial area, then it's a red card. So I don't think there can be any complaints on that one.
Let's welcome in Luis Garcia. Luis, let's start just with this game overall. As Craig said, Valencia absolutely shot themselves in the foot, but so many teams do that when they come up against Real Madrid late on, because it's that machine-like pressure that you get from this team.
Yeah, exactly. And we all talked about that this game we will be on the side of Real Madrid, not the way that we expected, because I think that Valencia was very good in the first 45. The second round when Real Madrid start pushing is very difficult to handle, very difficult to keep that character, that personality. And we saw the players just before the game, the Valencia players saying personality, character into the field. And they had it for many minutes. Having the ball, keeping the ball, making this fantastic transition, scoring that first goal, and with options to score more goals. But when Real Madrid start pushing and you start receiving that pressure and feeling that pressure, it's very difficult to handle until the moment that during a game you got 85 minutes. And we talked about this many times. You got 85 minutes to win the game and 5 not to lose it. You are in the last part of the game. You've been making an amazing effort. That point that Valencia just dropped today, because it was a draw just for 5 minutes to go. You get that ball and Fouquier doesn't have to go back to his defense. Just put the ball on the wide areas and try to fight it over there. Put the ball in the other side, because Real Madrid is pressing you with 1 man less. So that means that if you are surrounded by 4 players, they only are another 5 players in the other side. So let's think about that. The inexperience of these players, the lack of experience of Valencia, because they are young, because they don't know how to handle the situation, and because of the situation they are right now on the table, push this Valencia to lose today the game and to drop another 3 or maybe 2 points. So I think that Real Madrid deserve it in the last part, because I think they've done a better job in the last 45 minutes. The impact of Modric, I think, was very important for Real Madrid. And in the end, as always, they get the result. But Real Madrid needs to continue in that manner, trying to improve from the first minute, because today they will have drop points.
Luis,
I was going to say, I wonder how... I'm intrigued to know how Ancelotti handles this continuation of the sort of bubbling over Vinicius Jr. Because here we have a guy who, you know, I don't know how he deals with it behind the scenes, but that's why he gets paid the big bucks. I would imagine he doesn't go in and read the riot act to him, but he has to at least try and take some of that out of him. You know,
because whatever he's doing isn't working with regards to trying to calm him down, because it's
no, but
every game.
I know that, and you watch it, you think, when's he going to learn? But then, where do you go as a manager? Because he sort of plays on that edge, and he wasn't.
I don't know. Is that just an excuse to play on the edge? Like I was going to say to Luis, look, you played with Lionel Messi, obviously, and this is where Vinicius Jr. wants to be. He wants to be in that conversation with the likes of Ronaldo and Messi over the years. And I'm sure there are examples, and people will be more than happy to show times when Messi and Ronaldo were petulant, but not at this frequency.
Yes, and not with that frustration, not with that anger. And Craig just mentioned that anger that he's got in this kind of situation, that push with the two hands. Again, we're going to get into that debate where is that enough to receive a red card? Because the push is not too much, because in the neck. It's not about how much it makes the push or the knock or the with a knock on the keeper. Is about the intention of trying to hurt the opponent. And we saw that exactly same push with the two hands. I think it was against Bayern Munich. I cannot remember what was the play. I don't know if it was Goretzka or was Kimmich into the middle of the park, that he reacted the same way with the same anger, same frustration. And that's something that has been happening for quite a long time. And it has to be addressed. And I know what your frustration, guys. I know what you're feeling, because no one at Real Madrid is kind of trying to handle it, because it's happening. The players around him. And I remember Kroos was trying to talk to him in some different games, trying to calm him down. But this arrived to a point that today, red card, everyone, when they saw the reaction, they thought, it's a red card. We knew it, that if the VAR was going to get involved, it was going to be a red card. So, yes, I think Real Madrid needs to get involved, and they need to try to continue talking, or manage their way in the different situation, because it's keep on going, it's keep happening, and that's something that we don't want to see on the field. We know how good he is, but we want the good part. We don't want to see these kind of reactions.
I think when it starts affecting them more on the field, maybe we'll see more of a reaction. It hasn't really. I mean, he's missed the odd game here and there, but they've still been...
If you're a veteran in that dressing room...
No, look, listen, I'm all for addressing this. And I'm all for passion and players having that passion. But I'm also for addressing that scenario. My point being, when we started talking about this, is that I think it's a difficult situation for Ancelotti, in a sense that he is a player, I think, who thrives on feeling that everything's against him. And somehow he just has to bottle that a little bit better, or a lot better, but he can't seem to do it. And it's generally whenever a game's getting away from Real Madrid or himself, and whenever he feels, Vinicius Jr. that is, that he's been wronged within a game, i.e. from a referee, as he did in the first half, not receiving the penalty kick that he clearly thought it seems to just snowball from there for the rest of the game, unless he all of a sudden gets a couple of goals and everything's happy in his world again. And it's a very difficult scenario, because what do you do? Do you sit him down and dress him down like a kid and sort of just take that completely out of him, or do you say, listen, like most managers I think would, I'm all for that desire to win and that energy, and it hurts. It hurts Vinicius Jr. when things are not going right, but there is a level into where you can take it, and there is no doubt he crosses that multiple times. If he was to do that, miss the last 2 or 3 games of the season and they lose the league, that's when it becomes an even bigger problem. At the moment, they're sort of getting away with these little instances where I think he misses at least 1 game now for that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's violent conduct, but it's raising the arms. So I don't know how exactly La Liga deal with this in terms of suspension. but it's probably not going to affect him short term. But over a bigger picture, if he was to miss a Champions League final or a huge game at the end of the season because of this nonsense, then it's a problem for Ancelotti.
One thing that isn't a problem for Ancelotti at the moment is Bellingham returning to form, goal-scoring form, the assist for the opening goal as well, Luis. Inevitably, it's comparisons between him and Mbappe, just because, you know, two big stars who've come in at different times. Every time Bellingham gets the ball, you feel like he's trying to make something happen. For Mbappe, there's almost an extra touch.
Yeah, that's the feeling. He continues arriving to the last third and not keeping that composure. Too many offsides. We've been talking about this situation. He's probably one of the fastest players on earth at the moment, and he always gets a step ahead. He doesn't have that composure, that calmness when he needs to be. If you are fast enough to pass players on 1v1 situation and you got that speed, when the space created, the only thing that you have to be aware of that line, trying to be onside every single time, because you're going to be faster than the rest of the defender. They need to turn around. You are always looking to the goal, so just keep that line. But it looks like he's so focused on the ball that he's not looking at where the line of defense it is, and he's getting involved in too many offsides. And when the last part of playing on a 1v1 against the keeper, he's not keeping that composure, he's not having that end product. I think, again, it will arrive because it's been showing lately, but we are missing that part. We are missing that confidence from Kylian Mbappe.
It's in games like today, obviously, we talked about him rediscovering goal-scoring form, where you kind of want him, don't you? In the 85th minute, to do something Mbappe, to do something special, to do something only the best in the world can do, yeah, and we didn't really see it.
No, but they've picked the 3 points up, and it's a much bigger issue. Had that Rioja fantastic wonder shot at the end had gone in the back of the net, and boy, it was close, then maybe we're having a slightly different story. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't terrific again. None of the front three were, really, to be honest with you. And again, it was Modric coming on and Bellingham making things happen from a slightly deeper role. I think, obviously, if Bellingham hadn't hit this sort of goal-scoring form after his very, very slow start to the season in terms of his goal-scoring, then it's an even bigger problem, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, there'll be times where Mbappe, I just feel like he needs to time these runs a little bit better. I feel like for somebody with his experience and, you know, for everything he's won in the game, and as Louis said, for somebody with his pace, he doesn't have to be right on the shoulder. He can give himself a yard and he's fine. He's still going to get there. He's still going to get in. He's still going to beat most defenders. But as I say, it's a kind of moot point at the moment because this is, you know, 3 points, and it's the sign of a side that, you know, when you're Barcelona, if you're Hansi Flick watching that game, as I'm sure he was with his players, he'd be like, this team, we just can't shake them off, and that's a very, very good sign for Ancelotti.
That's a really good point, Craig, and it's kind of different to what we've seen actually over the last few weeks, in which Barcelona have led games, let teams back into it. Real Madrid very much the opposite, getting across the line no matter what. And if you're a Barcelona fan, a player, a coach, you're looking at that and thinking, this is going to be really hard now.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid kind of got that confidence, kind of got that push to get these kind of results and improving on the field or the style of play, because Barcelona lack of consistency that we saw in the last 5 games, because kind of the results of Real Madrid start improving as soon as Barcelona start dropping points. And Atletico Madrid exactly the way we were talking about Atletico Madrid suffering and struggling and not liking the football they were doing, the results that were not there, and suddenly they changed and they start winning 12 games in a row. So I think that right now for Barcelona is a massive concern how they are going to address the next coming games, and not only in the cup but also in the league, because if you want to keep that consistency, you want to keep that pace, let's not forget 5 points away from Real Madrid in just the last month and a half, and Atletico Madrid is not going to change the way they are playing, and they're going to keep that momentum. So it's going to be a thrilling last part of the season for Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid.